rest of this tournament does not matter. Focus on this map and this map alone. Now, of course, if you're you're thinking we carry the momentum forward, we grab another victory, at the very least, go for some kills, because yes, they've increased their standings. Yes, they're feeling maybe a bit more comfortable, but they are not out of the weeds yet.
They're currently sitting in 15th place, so we are just only 3 points north of 20th place that Team Caspian is in. That is how close everything is coming down towards the wire, and Team Physics on your screen is going to be another one of those squads sitting just inside qualification spot for last chance qualifier.
Yeah, no, and again, like, this is what we're talking about. You have early encounters here, and if you're down in like the 30s, GNCR, good grief, just cannot catch a break, losing the very first gunfight. Probably the first 3 people joining a couple others in the gulag right at the very beginning, a full team wipe. Now, Millsy, the team that did it, fighting off against Infernal here, Team 19, all of these teams need a ton of points. All of these teams at risk of relegation or LCQs. All of these teams have a lot of ground to make up in the final 2 maps, and they're fighting each other for those positions. Woo!
You see the neighboring third party and rest of the team wanting to join back in fresh from the gulag, but Diablo gets annihilated. Just some more points on the board for Team Physics. Now we'll just have to see what that does for them overall on the leaderboard, because 25.2 points for them, and to get into top 20, they need to hit 39, so 14 to go.
Well, Sharpie D had a great showing in the last map, but Starbrook has had a great showing this whole tournament and is playing spoiler to any sort of momentum that they have, especially now. Teammate in hand, Donathan here to help out. Let's see what they can do. Jonathan looks down the stairs, and the opponent's looking a bit wary to take this fight. Bane's still in the gulag, so it is a 2v2, but even still, they do not feel comfortable with the pressure that Jonathan's putting on them. So backing out of here, Sharpie D takes the high ground position. Again, anytime you can gain an advantage in a fight, you take it. Sometimes that's player advantage, sometimes that's high ground, sometimes that's just the way you play trades with your teammate. Do you have a line of sight that you can get early shots? Can you get that kind of first blood on your opponents? All of these things going through these players' mind, and frankly, most of them are in their subconscious.
To be fair, where they've situated themselves in Urzikstan University is entirely tough to push. And now, with Louisiam, Wars, and Bubble making their rotation on into here, be curious to see how they're going to make a play. They're likely going to run into squad number 14 first on that low ground. And if I'm Sharpie, I don't necessarily want to push. We do have the PKM in hand, which will feel like it shoots for an infinite amount of time. And you'll hear it go ta 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 ta. I'm not gonna ever do that again. You're very welcome. But that's basically what it sounds like in my head. And if I'm operating the PKM, you put an LMG in my hand, I'm just gonna go exactly that.
Pro Person, by the way, was just blind firing through the ground to try to grab a crazy wall bait clip for Twitter. So I can respect that as well. But talk about Ultimate High. Walker, OG, Binzy playing Ultimate High against their opponents. Team 34 down below them, but we're gonna head to Pink Turtle. Made a massive move in the last map and a chance to take down one of the top teams today, fuzzing in the gulag. Pink Turtle looking for an opening. All was quiet in the gulag front until finally you get the first shots, and an easy win for Pink Turtle. Made that look simple.
Pink Turtle, real MVP of the lobby, let's be real.
I don't know, they're looking clean in the second half of this tournament. If they can do it again in this map and the next one, they are a second half team, and we'll wave that flag all the way to the regional finals.
I'm not gonna lie, I want Pink Turtle on my squad. Team Skinner though, Pink Turtle gonna be able to scout things out across Lowtown for Monzo and Skinner, plus loadout. So if we're gonna be able to have that come through, what a nice regain for Pink Turtle.
And a quick circle check too. Lowtown just barely kind of bisected in half with this new zone. This is pulling to the western side, but it's pretty midwestern, so you could see kind of South Cargo, North City. We saw a zone similar to this yesterday. Here's a quick look at it for the people at home over in the top left-hand corner of your screen as we see another fight here on main stage. And we told you, action-packed at the very beginning of this lobby. 2 teams fully eliminated already. Would hate to be them. Hopefully they can turn around in the last map here, Tiff.
For Visions, though, they're in 23rd place on the leaderboard, cannot afford to fall early. And with Cams being in 2nd place, and just immediately looks to push out and gets destroyed. Not where you want to find yourself is going to be that gulag, but you're in 32 points, 7.2 away from 20th.
Talk about juxtaposition of two different teams that are playing two totally different games right now. Cams is dominating with great comms, and it just seems like everything is just a hair too slow for this Vision team. But a well-placed nade might help out a little bit. First shots go down. Vision should have the win here if he can keep the push. The advantage. No, snaps around the corner. Okay, Vision, tap in, brother. I like that shot, and we're gonna see Lays try to do the same.
Gonna need to, because one team member has already lost the gulag. If we can get two back, it'll make our life just that much easier. Molotov goes out, misses, but that's okay. The bullets will do the trick. 2 of the 3 survive, and their dream towards advancing on in the stages of World Series of Warzone still alive.
A couple people favoring the Seaport side of things. Team 26 on your screen off the right-hand side, and then yes, Sani here as well. Again, this is the team that barely eked into this stage of the competition, barely making it through lower bracket round 1. Sanctify Sani, a team that, frankly, Enigma broke down and told them that, well, they're not playing correctly here on main stage, which I respect. It was a mistimed play. Let's see if they can turn it around here, the final 2 maps. And right now, both teams just airing to hold their positions. And frankly, Tiff, I think the issue with this is that if you need kills, this is the exact same thing we ran into a moment ago over on the side of farms, where it's like, if you land here and the zone pulls all the way to Seaport, you basically don't take fights for 3/4 of the entire game. And sure, you have resources, sure, you have position, but do you have enough kills for it to really matter if you get a 1.6 or a 1.8 times multiplier?
And that's the tough part. This is Team Viero, right? They are your winners of map number 1. They got 38 points in that game. Do you know how many points they have right now, Goj? 45.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
That is a stark differential between that map 1 performance and now being here in map number 5 in 13th place by just 6 points.
Yeah, it's not a lot. They've been struggling, so I don't know. Maybe they're going to play for placement here since they're in Seaport, and frankly, I think that might be a mistake. I think they've got to get kills. I think they need to try to clear their POI out, but on to more kills we go, because Wars, our kill leader, continuing to slay, or at the very least his team is. Nice trades here. This is good team chemistry, plating the trades, not losing a single player as they pick Wars back up. Full team of 3, top of the leaderboard with only Cams and Fuzzin really staring down, trying to take that top position from, frankly, just an ego standpoint. Because again, top 3, top 5 really already qualified for the regional finals. If history repeats itself, we're looking for 54 points to be the threshold for top 20 after 6 maps, and after 4 at 92.4. Frankly, they're doing what they should be doing. This is one of the best teams in the game right now. Wars with $250,000 earned in this title. As we take a look at the map, Wars dominating on the outside fringe, but the team's in center. It looks like it is going to pull just outside of Seaport, potentially cut it about in half.
Ooh, we lose out on Bubble just as we get a check-in with the map. That's okay, though. Has Gulag. So we'll burn that earlier, still able to wipe squad 14 and stabilize here in this positioning in suburbs. Now, when you mentioned that map, right, this is similar to what we saw in North America yesterday. And you had asked me, would I prefer the cargo side or the city side? There's not a lot of playable space left on the cargo side in comparison to Zaravan City. So Team Toyor has already positioned themselves towards that eastern side of Stadium. But for teams that have found themselves on top of construction in the city, they do have to contend with a lot of teams that are going to be rotating in more specifically on that low ground, but you could go for a nice time third party.
Yeah, frankly, if I'm Caspian, I give up this PO. I jump. I already rotate. I go early. You're on the edge of zone. You know in circle's not going to be here. It's going to be on the northern side of city, if in city at all. And you're on that kind of, you're basically dead center of city, even a little bit on the south side with the construction building. I leave early because if you wait, teams are going to hold you. They're going to see you flying in. Go now, go early. Try to get one of those last remaining buildings where you think in circle will be, but maybe they're hunting for kills like we told them to. So 2 sides of the same coin. We'll see what happens on the other side as Benzi and OG push the equation to grab what looks like a decent gunfight until they get cleaned up from behind. Benzi, what in the world? Nobody will falter. How about a no scope? No. How about a fist to the face and the butt of a gun? Holy.
I'm sorry, but if we hit that no scope, we're all going crazy. Unfortunately, it doesn't come through right there. But for Alex Crack falling to Team Cams, who are just eviscerating this side of cargo, they will have to move, have plenty of time to do so. But for Team Alex Crack, we've got Rouge Rocks in the gulag against Benzi.
Nice crack. Benzi has little to no chance there. Hardly loses most of his life. Alex gonna try to do the same and does it. Nice answer back. A nice double win pushes him back into the map. But you're right. Yeah, Teams Cams basically just killed everybody in cargo and then are rotating in. I think they lost maybe one of their 3 as they rotate, but they actually have a fairly free and clear rotate. You can see this kind of overhead view of them hitting the redeploy drone and then flying to the far south side of cargo. And here they are now, all 3 alive. There's nobody over here. There's only one team just outside of the minimap view we have right now, Team 17, which will be kind of lurking off to the side. But I think if I'm Team Cams, you maybe just hang out here. You know you're free. You've got a buy station. You get your resources ready to go. You wait on this next zone to close in the next 35 seconds. See where it pulls to, then make your move.
I think that's smart, especially knowing that that buy station could be of use to Team Walker, which was 17 on the mini map. We did see one player of theirs just lose a gulag, so they'll have to think of an opportunity to regain. But elsewhere, Team Codwell on your screen here in condos. This is on that still northern side, but more closer to Seaport District, where 2 other teams are. But they will have to keep on rotating. My only thing is, where does that circle pop here in 3 seconds?
Yeah, and a quick shout, by the way, on that Cams team. You see them killing King AJ? Yeah, they've already crossed the river. They're over in City, and they're wiping squads over there. Here's a quick look at that view. Team 4, that light blue on the right-hand side. They jumped over the river with the redeploy drone, and then they wiped the team and are taking position in City. They believe it's going to be City with this new zone pop. It's looking like it'll basically be Bridge or that north side of City. This is going to be a wild in circle. The big question is who's going to get there.
This is interesting. So this is why you do VOD review, because we are getting the same pulls we saw yesterday in North America.
Yep.
And think of all the squads that hit that late rotation towards Bridge and tried to play on that waterline, right? They got annihilated early. So for teams like squad number 21, Team Marcus, I don't love the positioning, but for the squad number 15 on your screen, I love the thought of trying to clear out the south side.
Yeah, great shot. And I'm thinking of Caspian as well. Reminder, Caspian was 20th place. They were on top of construction way over there on the south side of City. Will they be able to rotate in? Watch out for that team. See if they hang on. They are our threshold team. And so we're going to swing over with Tony White in contention. South side of City as well. Tony White trying to make a play. They're in 21st place. They've won a map, but they can't get the kills they need. And well, right now, Impact's doing everything he can to get some kills. Tony White with a little bit of backup, some C4s to boot, and it seems like things are paying off for them as they take these, what I'll call almost waterway fights that aren't quite into the river.
Well, Slayers not in a waterway, in the gulag against Chow. Lethal's going out, still looking for angles. I'd be really curious to hear where he came up with the not bad uncle name, but still, free fire goes through. Not gonna hit for much and just hits the zip and makes it. Chow lives to see another day.
No way. I thought he had vision on him in that smoke. He just barely lost some sort of weird shift. He hit a little Euro step, grabbed the zip, and somehow made it out. That just blew me away. But Chow's in 4th for a reason, I suppose. He's going to be flying back in. And man, you would love to have Slayers right now. I think the key about this team is that if you had Slayers win that gulag, he'd be flying in and could give info to Tony White's team, who right now are just sitting ducks in the waterways. That is brutal. And I believe we're seeing that replay there, bottom right-hand corner, so close, even cracks the shields. That is tough. Well, taking a look at some of our other teams again, Viero, Tiff, you called them out. They won a map, and basically since then, they've earned 7 points in 3 maps. So they need a big one, and right now it doesn't look like they have a ton of points, but in an okay-ish position. A couple teams in their way if the zone pulls, which it certainly will, closer and closer to that bridge.
This is a stark difference from when we last checked in with them. Now on this far eastern side, the remnants of Team Toyor just on their mini map, and squad 20 and 31 over towards the west. But relatively clean over here. We just have to worry about teams maybe looking to try and take this building from them, which I highly doubt. But you've got the buy station that Team Tremze just hit. And when you see the pull come through, yes, it mirrors yesterday's.
Wow, right on, well, okay, it's EMEA, right on the football pitch, okay? It's right there on the football pitch, on the stadium. The soccer field for my friends at home here in America. This is going to be a wild ending, and you're exactly right, Tiff. We saw this near identical circle yesterday with Vonbot going big, I believe, and grabbing the win. So excited to see who wins this time around. You can see Huncho actually has a nice high ground position to hold this outer angle. But again, I think Huncho's going to be late on the rotate. There's so many teams going early. There's like 5-6 teams rotating in the south side of circle right now. And this team, Team 20, they're all fighting here on the outer edges around this buy station. They are going to be in trouble with whatever remnants of a team they have left if they keep fighting.
Yeah, but they need every elimination that they can get. They've moved themselves up to 12th place overall, so 8 position difference to really bolster themselves inside that top 20. So this is finally starting to pay off and get themselves back on track. But we're actually going to coast along the waterway, keep out of line of sight from teams that are still in the main buildings, but we're going to be rotating straight towards Team Walker.
Speaking of some former EU talent, this is where Tommy's team, just underneath the bridges over here, tried to hang out with Obs, the Australian pair, down below with Teeny, and it didn't pay off. So I wonder if maybe they'll reverse the curse of underneath the bridge rotation. They've got a bit more room to work at with going into this fifth circle. They could hang out here, but instead, maybe they learn from that VOD review and thinking twice about going just only under the bridge. Take some fights here. Nice wipe there on Crystal. That is a top team going out. They're inside of top 10. And Crystal goes down. Full wiped, I believe, as well. Tony White full wipe there in the kill feed. Apparently ran into a bit of trouble as expected, just hanging out on the edge of zone far too long. And now with only 2 just barely inside the zone, this is going to be a brutal rotation when inevitably it pulls further and further to this other bridge.
Squads that are still alive on the other side, Team Wars and Team Fuzzin. Team Fuzzin's gonna actually get the circle pull.
Yeah.
Will be dead center of that next circle. And so these teams here on the outer gas line are gonna have to fight so hard to get there. Louis CM being that solo is gonna be one of them.
Yeah, I'd love to swing over to the other side of this zone because these teams are just lurking for placement. We're looking for top 20, bang, we got it. Top 16, we're really looking for top 10, and you're going to have to wait for a while. You might even see Louis CM just PDS here if he sees a team rotate past him and then take the shots. I don't know what he's going to do, but it's going to be difficult. Long way to go. But Pink Turtle, here's the other side of the circle. There are like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 teams all trying to rotate in on this side, and this is about to be utter chaos. You see a massive fight happening around Huncho over there with Team 7, and so this actually opens up a window of opportunity for Pink Turtle's team to fully rotate in. Who's playing spoiler on the right-hand side? Team 25, they came from construction. This is Caspian. This is a top 20 team, but just barely in 20th spot, still alive. Somebody let them fly through the entirety of City, and now they have a chance to go big and make it into the top 10 this time around.
Yeah, and they've got the road on the top. Chow's team on the other side. Chow falls. Renzo gonna be last alive over there. And everyone is just trying to stay alive, whether it's utilizing smokes, C4s, all of your equipment and resources. And Skinner takes that angle straight onto the squad. On the other side, squad number 15, Team Enersensal just got wiped, and they're outside the top 20.
Fuzzin just saved this Caspian team. Fuzzin was raining Hellfire down to get Skinner weak so he couldn't help out his teammate as he pushed in to fight Caspian and Fado, and it was busted coverage. Skinner has no plates and is just lurking in the shadows, hoping to pick up a couple extra kills, and frankly, is just hoping to get top 10. Other teams falling, he finally gets it and then opens fire. You see B Groovy fall in 11. That is brutal for a team we expected to be near the top of the leaderboard, Tip. Skinner's just gonna play a PDS and just hang out. There is nothing he can do but just bide his time and hope somebody runs right into the wrong end of his barrel so he can gun them down and take whatever points they will give him. He needs every second of it, but a C4 to the face, this is gonna be brutal. And so you see Caspian drop the PDS because they don't have to leave yet. I think they're gonna try to wait. They might have another PDS here. They might wait until the next zone pull.
They're gonna have to, and that's so tough for squad number 27. Team Zesty gets bunker busted by Team Marcus. But here goes the rotation for Team Caspian, straight into the building. We don't care. We're barreling through the doors, jumping all around, but for now it is safe. But the circle pull goes back to Team Zesty in 28th place, coming in at drop number 5. If they can stay alive, this is going to be a magnificent game for them.
It's about time, by the way, for Team Marcus. Look who's still alive as well. Team 21, the winners of your lower bracket round 1 by a 40-point margin. We needed them to step up. They were down on our leaderboard. They were aggressively needing a massive game. They have the bridge. They have the high ground, and they're wiping Team Zesty with no harm, no foul, and not a bullet going the other direction. They are set up for a victory here if they can hold off any advances and if this zone is somewhat friendly to them as we close it out. This is our 8th circle closing. The 9th will close around it and suck everybody into this tiny little zone they have to play around. He needs Caspian to answer back on Fuzzin, and unfortunately all he does is get a knock and then hands a kill to the other team. It is going to be Team Fuzzin versus Team Marcus, and we got a couple floaters from Team 40 on the other side, now on the ground getting their loadout and preparing for whatever is next.
Okay, but Team Marcus is in 16th place, and squad number 40 is Team Sani in 27th place. So teams that needed to have a banger game. But if Marcus has the high ground here and really wants to find themselves, every elimination they get is worth 1.8 unless they hit the win. But now that it starts to center up, and in 2 seconds, we will lose this high ground slowly and have to jump on down. That's going to be tough for a team that's already found themselves on the low ground. And, well, we've got gas masks at least for 2 of the players on Team Zany.
3v3 v2, but a weak team of 3 with Sani and Fuzzin and Pentagon say, give me all the kills. We're gonna get 1. Can we get a second? Yes, we get it. 2 down. The 3rd gets eliminated. Fuzzin, Pentagon may have just handed the win to their opponents. They wipe the other team. They get 2nd place. Melvin falls, but Pentagon said, you know what? That was so worth it for us. Sure, we might give this away to the other team. We set up Team Marcus for the victory, but they got a ton of eliminations with the 1.8 multiplier. But shout out Team Marcus. It was about time, gentlemen. It is time to make the move to the top 10, friends. A massive move.